All right, you are now tuned in to the Rotated Views podcast. I am your host, Jimmylee Velez. I'm here with Gabe, Goose, Heck, Angelo, and Justin. Diamond Striking Part 2. In this episode, we have special guest Justin Burke. We cover topics that range from fight camps, coaching and teaching, marketing, mixed martial arts, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from Les Brown and Conor McGregor. Guys, if you're new, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to download and subscribe. We drop a new episode every Tuesday morning for your listening pleasure. Kicking things off, gentlemen, Justin and Ange, we're about to kick things off. Let's jump right into this, man.
Yes, sir.
So Angelo and Justin, you've both been on the podcast before, so we appreciate you both. But Justin, specifically, episode 286 was the last time you were with us, which is roughly about a year ago. So, yep. Diamond Striking Part 1, we introduced you to our podcast world. Yes, but now here you are with a few updates. You got a few things cooking. And so we want to invite you back on. Obviously, Justin is... it goes to Angelo for haircuts, right? So Angelo's Justin's barber, and then Justin's Angelo's fight coach, or something like that, right?
Yes, sir.
100%.
Right. So trainer, fight coach. All right, so with that being said, let's jump right in. So actually, I want to start with Angelo. Just introduce who you are, what you do, and then we'll go to Justin to take over.
I'm Angelo. I'm a barber at Miguel's Riverside Barbershop. That's about it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Keep
for
it
sure.
short and sweet.
I like it. All right, Justin. Who are you and what do you do?
I'm Justin Burke.
Yep.
I am a boxing and MMA coach, trying to continue this journey.
Yeah,
doing it full time.
For sure. All right, so I know there's the last episode you were on. You're sort of explaining how you got started, but for those who didn't get a chance to listen to that episode, really quick, explain to everyone how you got started into coaching, how you got started into MMA, the fight world, whatever. Yeah,
so, just as, a troubled teen, that's pretty much how it started, having really no direction or someone to, guide me or anything like that. Me and MMA and boxing kind of found each other, that kind of happened naturally. Was at a boxing gym one day, I saw the guys sparring, I got kind of thrown into the wolves and haven't looked back since. So, yeah.
I love that. All right, and so how does one advance from, just fighting and training yourself to then teaching and coaching? How did that transition happen?
That transition happened, it's kind of hard to explain. I did it to myself. Yeah. Had my daughter with my wife and everything, and I kind of took a little hiatus from the gym. Yeah. Just like some guys tend to do a little bit, sometimes we fade away. Just gets, just like life, it's routine. You do something for a week or two, it becomes a routine. And staying away from the gym for a week or two became a routine, and I had to find my way back to doing something that I loved. I find myself being depressed, angry all the time, just having having that void not being filled.
Yeah.
Something was missing. So I went back to the gym. All the guys that I left there after I got done fighting were much better than me. Rightfully so. It's my own fault. But it just lit the fire to help the young guys coming up, and really express my skills and knowledge to the guys in the regional scene, the guys in the UFC scene, stuff like that. So coaching is something that just kind of came naturally to me. Yeah.
So how long have you been coaching for?
I've been coaching for a while. Even when I was a fighter, I was still helping out the guys. We're still there for each other, always coaching. But I really took on this, especially when I made my brand Diamond Striking.
Yeah.
A little bit over a year ago. That's when things kind of just exploded. But I've been coaching for, I would say about 10 years.
Yeah.
So
for everyone listening right now, what does Diamond Striking mean to you? How did you come up with the name? Also, episode 286, check it out. He also explains it.
Yes. Diamond Striking is it's everything to me, for one.
Yeah.
It's who I am. It's who I've always wanted to be. It's something I've been chasing since I was a kid. Not essentially the name Diamond Striking, but chasing something that filled that void.
Yeah.
Something it's like, and again, it's who I am. Once I coaching came naturally, and I just feel like I had to put a brand on myself. I feel like I had to market myself. You know, this is a spectator sport.
Yeah. Boxing,
MMA, you see it everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, so as a coach, you kind of got to do the same thing. So once I made that brand, you know, I started marketing myself, and now it's becoming what it's supposed to be, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's, you know, the fruits of my labor. Like, it's my own hard work. It's everything that I've been putting into it.
Yeah.
All the fighters that I work with, all their accomplishments, their accolades that came, especially with this past year. It's truly amazing. So it's kind of just happening naturally.
Yeah.
But I am putting legit blood, sweat, and tears into it.
So explain for those who don't fully understand the striking. So do you specialize in striking, or do you just you teach everything, but that's just kind of what you capitalized on? Or
I can teach everything, absolutely, but yes, I specialize in striking, 100%. That's what I would rather keep it to. I have guys, you know, in the pro regional scene. They have jiu-jitsu coaches, wrestling coaches, and they have striking coaches.
Okay.
So that's just kind of how that goes.
So if someone's watching right now and they're thinking like, hey, I want to get coached by Justin, Diamond Striking, his methods, what's the first step? How do they reach out to you? Where should they go?
Shoot me a DM. I'm very responsive. They shoot me a DM, you know, especially if you're local and you guys want, you know, take me on as your fight camp. You know, they know how to reach me. You know, just right on my Instagram, Facebook. You know, I'm all over the place now. YouTube, everywhere.
So are you a Monday through Friday thing, 7 days a week thing? How does that work?
So if we want to get into this, we can get right into that announcement.
Let's go. Let's do it.
So
that's what we're here for.
Yeah. So the announcement that I have, you know, that I told, I don't know how many people are watching, but I start this Saturday at the Newtown Athletic Club.
Nice.
So that is going to be that's going to be my transition into doing this full time, and it's coming quick. Like I'm going to be doing this full time Monday through Friday within about 30 days.
Wow.
So this is something, and again, everything that I've worked towards. Now, you guys know I also work out of NPR Endurance with Eric Purcell.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things on the horizon with NPR and the NAC as well. I mean, I can't disclose that information, but you know, there's 2 freight trains, coming into one destination there. So that's all going to align. I'm just going over there first. So I have some availability picking up at the NAC now. And we're going to be doing about 2-3 days a week, you know, at night after my day job, on top of training my fighters, on top of being, you know, a husband and father. So it's, you know, it's a grind.
That's exciting.
But, yeah.
So, all right. So huge announcement. Catch this guy at the NAC pretty damn soon. Actually, when this releases, you guys are lucky. He has you guys on IG Live. You're listening right now. This is exclusive content. We don't release our podcast till the following week. So you're catching it live. But with that being said, how did that all happen? How does this transition? Because explain what was there, what product was there now, what offerings or what service. Is there anything close to what you're bringing? Explain how that even happened.
As far as me going over there?
Yes.
So, you know, the director over there, his name's Doug Sharp, which I'm greatly appreciative of. You know, we just had some general conversation, and you know, there's a lot of room for this kind of this niche over there.
Yeah.
There's not really anyone over there doing the boxing and, you know, Muay Thai and stuff like that. So just had some conversation. Told him this is my goal. I want to do it full time, and here we are.
I love it. All right, Angelo, I want you to jump in right quick. So there's probably also someone else listening. Once again, as I said before, is very interested in your services, you being their coach, what have you. Angelo, obviously you're not a professional fighter or anything, but to stay in shape and obviously to stay sharp with your swing, right? What attracted you to Justin's services?
I know Justin been doing it for a long time.
Yeah.
And I seen him progressing in his field.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And he came in for a haircut one day. We knew each other. You'll see on the other podcast. We knew each other since we were kids.
Yeah.
And when he came in to get a haircut, it's something I always wanted to do was learn how to box. I love boxing.
Yeah.
I love watching it as a sport, but I want to learn how to do it.
For sure.
And the way he works his program, there's such a method behind his madness. Like, I don't get to see it. Because I'm the worst critic of myself. You know what I mean? But he's like, yo, you're progressing. He'll tell you, we're in the gym. He's like, yo, you're progressing. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
But in all reality, when we started 8-9 months ago, I was just hit and miss. Now we're sparring. Now he got me sparring with pro fighters in the ring. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. Like, I'll be out, somebody will see me with a black eye. Like, black eyes are second nature now. But to be like, yo, you got to keep that guard up. You ain't learning nothing. Like, I'm not in there sparring with a tomato can from your local bar. You know what I mean? He got me in there with killers. And that's the whole method. Like, he keeps you progressing and progressing. He keeps pushing you and pushing you. And that's what I want in a trainer.
Absolutely.
Because what's the point of a trainer if they're not going to do that for you? I can stay on the same level myself. I want to get to the next level, and he'll keep getting you to level up nonstop.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I love that, because that goes in alignment with diamond striking, as what you're saying. It's forming to be what it's supposed to be, and we call it here the best version of yourself. It's becoming that, and it's like, I think everyone out there, everyone listening, everyone's a fighter. I think everyone has that fight, that dog in them. You just have to have the ability to pull it out. Yeah. And sometimes it takes a coach to recognize. You're almost like their mirror. Like, look, I'm pulling the greatness out of you,
Absolutely.
right? And you coaching someone through that. And there's athletes all around the world can tell you that their potential is there. You just need a good coach to pull it out of them. So what is the excitement about being a coach and watching someone progress like Angelo?
You know, it all comes with knowledge, first and foremost. It comes with, when he first started, and I was like, I mean, maybe you're ready for a little bit of sparring, I put him in there with a chick.
Yeah.
With a girl fighter who's been in the cage.
Yeah.
Still mad at him for that.
Just for him to learn his control, because you don't want to go in there. The first mistake you can do is, especially when you spar, is go in there and go balls to the wall and, gas yourself out, not learning your control and your power, especially if you're going in there with a female, which she's been in the cage, but, he's a lot bigger. All he had to do was throw a hard cross and it could have put her out, So, like, he needs to go in there and learn his control, because speed and power go hand in hand.
Gotcha.
But when, back to the question is, seeing him progress, it fills that void.
Yeah.
That's the void that is always, I'm hungry every single day.
Yeah.
I got other fighters who, their striking wasn't really that great, and here we are a year working with these guys, especially my guy Russ Corbel, like who has a title under his belt. Now he's 2-0 as a pro. So like there's a lot of accomplishments. I don't even know how to say it. I guess like within me, to see these guys progress and know that the proof's in the pudding. And I keep standing by that and just, keep, preaching that. So yeah.
What's your favorite part about just combat sports in general? Is it the competition? Is it seeing the growth, whether it's MMA, boxing, what have you? What's maybe one or two things that you absolutely love and you're just passionate about? Even outside of your coaching, just watching.
Yeah, I mean, just the competitiveness of MMA, I still have a love for boxing. I mean, I guess we all can agree it's kind of dying.
Right,
a little bit.
Right.
There's really no, Tysons out there just dropping bodies and stuff like that. But I mean, just the competitiveness, the integrity, the sportsmanship, stuff like that.
Yeah. So explain the key difference between, and it's going to seem very obvious to some folks, but kickboxing, boxing, mixed martial arts, boxing, like just a very basic general overview. If someone's listening, they're like, what the hell's the difference?
Yeah. Well, it all depends if you're doing it competitively.
Yeah.
Kickboxing is just, kickbox, you can box and use your feet as well. That goes hand in hand with Muay Thai.
Yeah.
It's just a different style.
Got it.
Jiu-jitsu is strictly on the ground, that's grappling. Mixed martial arts is MMA, that's everything. So it's got kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, wrestling, everything all in one.
Gotcha.
So that's how that goes.
All right. So actually, I'm very curious to hear your opinion on this. What is your opinion on the different MMA leagues? So you have it's Cage Fury, PFL, UFC, and 20 other ones. Is there like the minor league, major league type deal there, or how does that work?
Yeah, so UFC is obviously the top dog.
Sure.
That's and UFC and Bellator are the top dogs. PFL is another top dog. They're about their top three. Everything else is kind of regional scene.
Got it.
Everything else is kind of like AAA before you get called up to the majors.
Gotcha.
And that's just how that goes.
Yeah. And so when we're talking about, so my son's in baseball and he has like a batting coach or whatever, and they're telling him, drive your hips, and they're giving him all these tips or whatever. And we hired the coach just as a batting coach. But as everyone knows, there's more to baseball, right? There's the batting and the fielding or the offense and the defense. It's interesting because we're watching him progress from these little tiny minor leagues to then getting into, the little leagues of the world and what have you. You've coached every level. Mm-hmm. So me and Heck coach like pre-T-ball and T-ball. It's so funny because it's like the kids are a mess. Kids are running the wrong way. And that, obviously it's funny, but then at some point it's like it's dope to see them actually comprehend, or by the end of the season they know somewhat what they're doing. Yeah. And then we go, as my son goes up in the leagues, my knowledge and my coaching level does too. You've seen it all basically, right? So I mean, how do you maintain the integrity of your coaching where you're seeing someone who might be starting off a little sloppy, all over the place, or maybe you're just redirecting their energy because somebody's probably just angry, throwing haymakers, I don't know what the hell this guy's doing, to watching you're critiquing every little bit for the professional level?
Yeah, I mean, it's I kind of keep them all. I bring, and he'll tell you, like, I bring the same energy kind of with everybody.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a little different if you're like who I have, right now is Pat Sabatini, who's in the UFC. Like, there's still things that we're critiquing with him, but like it kind of goes hand in hand with someone who's just starting out.
Yeah,
it's just a different level of energy. There's levels to it. As they say. So. I mean, I kind of keep the same energy with everybody. If you're going to go into the ring and start throwing power shots, I don't even let you do that. I'll tell you right away, ease up on the power. And it's not an ego contest in here. Leave that outside the ring. So that's how people get hurt.
Yeah.
But I kind of keep it all even.
Yeah. So with the leagues and with everything that's going on, the elephant in the room is fighter pay, right? Yeah. That's what the topic has been for the last 2.5 years at least. Obviously, it's probably always been a topic for the fighters themselves, but it become like a topic of conversation, and the UFC or these other leagues getting questioned on fighter pay, is it fair, what have you? What's your take on that? Do you have a take on that?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, getting up to that grand stage is amazing in itself. Yeah. But I know some of the guys in UFC are only taking fights for $10,000.
Yeah.
$12,000, $13,000. I have one of my top guys who fights for Cage Fury.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Up there.
It's nowhere near that.
Okay.
And that's for the regional scene.
Oh wow. Okay.
You got to think. Regional. And the big leagues.
Different stages.
It's different stages, but at the end of the day, you're still fighting, you're still putting your body on the line, you're still it's still barbaric, it's still insane to be doing that, to be almost kind of making pennies on the regional scene. It's a little
and I just think is it still that it's in its infancy, or like you just think back of when baseball started, the major leagues, and then the NFL started, and then the NBA and whatever, and you had leagues kind of come into. Basketball was a very good one to, if you think back on the history of it, and all these leagues coming together to finally form the NBA. Sort of you see that happening with some of these bigger leagues gobbling up the smaller ones just to get all the fighters into. Mm-hmm. Do you think that's the reason why, or do you see at some level some of these fighters getting paid like an NFL football player, or contracts that big, or maybe not to that level, but something like that?
If that happens, I don't think it's going to be in our lifetime unless something astronomical happens. But people are starting, PFL, they pay their fighters very well. There is other leagues coming up and about that are paying these fighters great money. So like when there's a couple UFC guys who are fighting out their UFC contracts just to make it to there.
Wow.
That's how serious it's getting.
Yeah.
So they'll fight out their 1 or 2 fights just to go somewhere else who's going to pay them more.
Yeah.
And you're leaving the top dog to go to someone who's just, kind of arriving on the scene.
Yeah. I remember just listening to like Conor McGregor talk about the difference, and I want you to speak on this, recovery. So, and you're talking about, walking around with a black eye or two, probably like a bummed up elbow or what have you. You're constantly walking around with an injury. Every fighter's injured to some degree. Like, so when you guys see these guys on TV, it's not that they're in perfect condition.
Yeah,
Something's hurting, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're just not you know what I mean? Like,
something's always hurting. Like you asked Goose, like last week, like I was hurting, like my ribs were bruised last week. You know what I mean? Like it was tough. But at the end of the day, it's so worth it because the stuff you learn inside the ring, the discipline, the patience, like everything. Like it's a life lesson in there. Like you got to take a few hits to give a hit.
Yeah.
It's life.
Yeah.
Like I've taken many a hits in life.
Yeah, for
you know what
sure.
I mean? But I give it back too.
I love that.
You know what I mean? So
I love that.
There's so much to learn inside of a ring that people don't even look at.
Yeah.
It's not just going in there and knocking somebody's head off. There's it's so much more of a chess match than just going in there swinging haymakers and getting out.
For sure.
Like if you're doing that, you're going to get lumped up real quick. All day long.
So to that point, they're talking about, or Conor was saying, you know, you guys remember when he went, obviously he's an MMA fighter who then stepped out of the ring for a period of time and boxed Floyd Mayweather, but he instantly appreciated the difference between getting lumped up in MMA, because somebody's like, you mean to tell me someone's not going to be kicking me?
Yeah.
They're going to be punching me with padded like pillows or whatever the hell. Obviously, it hurts still, but there's a big difference. So explain a little bit about the injuries and playing injured, basically, and then also recovery.
Yeah.
Like, what does that look like 2 weeks out from a fight, 3 weeks out? I mean, you don't want some dude with a lumped up forehead going into his fight the next day. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you guys prep them for that?
Yeah, well, first of all, no fighter's ever going to be 100%. I think we said this in the last podcast as well. And I just had my guy Ian Alston for his last December 16th fight. Hand, back, and knee.
Oh my gosh!
In the entire camp.
Oh my gosh!
So like now we're trying to compensate training to avoid these.
Oh wow!
You know, we're taking added rest days to try and get him back up to where he needs to be.
You're modifying your training due to his injury. That's wild.
Yeah. So like, and that's just not just him. That's every fighter.
Basically
every fighter's dealing with that.
Yeah.
You know, especially at the pro level.
Yeah.
I mean, it's. You can ask anybody, are you 100%? Like, no, man, my neck. I was just the chiropractor. Like,
oh my gosh.
Like, it's unreal.
Yeah.
But as far as like recovery goes, and like we'll 2 to 3 weeks out of a fight.
Yeah.
You know, the hard sparring's done by outside of week 1. I'm sorry, like about a week and a half left to go to the fight. Okay. Hard sparring's done.
Yeah.
You're not taking any chances for cuts. You know, other stupid stuff like that. You know, it's just hard drilling, getting the sweat going. If you're, a heavier guy and you need to be cutting weight, a lot of, clothes, you're wearing sauna suits, hoodies and everything, just trying to get that weight down. A lot of hard drilling. But yeah, everything's modified to your fight. You know, we ease up on the training at certain times. That way we try to get you 100% by the time you get into that cage.
Yeah.
So, but recovery, like I preach it often, ice baths, making sure you're resting, taking ibuprofen. I know it's like kind of crazy, but that's a big thing, in our field. So, just having proper, alignments from chiropractors, making sure you're taking the right supplements, all that. Because I'm thinking about just other sports, right? And so, for example, we're here in the Philadelphia region, and I think everyone here is an Eagles fan. The QB1 has been injured, and he had to sit out a couple games. Yep.
In MMA, it's like you almost get clowned for being injured and not be able to make weight or fight. Well, making weight's different, but being injured, you can't just like sit out. It's like you literally play injured, or fight injured. And as they say, you don't play boxing or you don't play MMA. This is some serious stuff here. So what is your take on that? Because they play every week for a season.
Yeah.
How many fights are you trying to get in on an average for your fighters?
On average, man, you only see these guys at most. You probably see them fight 5 times a year.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. That sounds like a lot.
That is a lot. You got to think, 8 to 12 week training camps at a time. So it's like, how much can you really push your body?
Yeah.
On the other end of that, I had 3 fighters last year fight 4 or 5 times. So it's like, and it's
doable, but you're pushing it. Yeah.
It's doable. I mean, and again, you're taking a chance of, injury and stuff like that. So
are they doing that to get themselves known, or is it more of just like getting their name out there, or just getting some fights under their belt?
Everything, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just, everybody's in that race to get to the big league, especially in the regional scene.
Yeah.
It's not, you turn pro, then you just want to get to where you see these guys who have graduated from the regional scene to the UFC, Bellator, PFL. So that's where all these guys are just starting out in the pro circuit. That's what they're trying to get to.
So talk a little bit about ego, right? So we see this happen all the time. You said some of the stuff that you were fighting just personally, whether it was, depression or whatnot, and this fighting combat sports actually help you overcome some of this stuff. Because we see this all the time, and we're not in the locker rooms, we're not in that person's head. When someone takes their first loss or 2 losses back to back, explain that could really mess you up, right, mentally. And how do you overcome that though? You got to have a good, and again, this is where coaching comes in hand.
Yeah. People with knowledge to really, be there to support you, because I do see guys take 2 L's in a row and,
that's tough.
Not come back from it. You guys know you guys sponsor Eddie Alvarez, my guy Eddie. Yeah. He took 2 and 3 in a row and he still gets back at it. We just got his hand raised.
Yeah.
The kid's relentless. So it all depends on what character you're bringing to the table. Who do you have that's surrounding you to as your support system? There's many variables that go into that, and who you are on the inside. It's either gonna make or break you. So.
Ange, I know you talked about you took a couple punches in life, whatever. So talk about that overcoming, even just mentally, just working that throughout your own mind, the goal to just keep getting better. How do you do that?
You talk about ego, you got to put that ego aside.
Yeah.
Humility is everything.
Yeah.
I'll get in the ring and spar with Justin for a little bit. He knows what he's doing. He got some of the heaviest hands I ever felt.
Yeah.
That humbles me. Once I start thinking I got it, I'm good.
Yeah.
Got a way of getting humbled, and then that knocks the ego out of the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and this way I can start growing. Last week we were sparring, all 3 of us that were sparring were sitting down after. We're talking about the things we need help in, where we need work at, not what we're good at, where the parts where we need work at. You know what I mean? And it's I talked about it last time we were on the show, surround yourself with the winners. I got a core group of friends right now that are family that I surround, and all of them came from the bottom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They really did. We all been through some stuff, and to put it out there, I got a good friend of mine, a girl who was on life support a year and a half ago, living in a Motel 6, just bought a house.
Wow.
Talk about leveling up in life. I got another guy who's making power career moves, another guy that's on the biggest spiritual mountain I've seen him on in the last year.
Wow.
And then guys like Justin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That just a little bit of time, what he can do in a little bit of time he just did.
Yeah.
Imagine what's to come.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It's just, it's amazing. But the biggest thing is putting that ego aside, because the ego has taken me out many a times.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Pride and ego is the worst thing in the world.
100%.
Just to piggyback on that, my number one thing that I preach is I don't care what you did right.
Yeah.
I really don't. I'll let you know that you did it right. But I don't care what you did right.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
It's about what we can improve on.
Right. Yeah.
So
getting sharper, getting better. I love it. All right, so let's transition a little bit about to social media, and then we'll go to marketing. So in social media, you post a lot of videos, a lot of tutorials, a lot of how-tos, what have you. Explain what you're trying to do with your branding on Instagram, and then we'll get into marketing. But let's just start there with the videos.
Yeah, this is gonna be a long road.
Yeah.
I started posting videos about a year ago.
Yeah.
I was talking in my videos, trying to explain some techniques and everything, and I was always I wasn't getting really too much engagement because I was doing it incorrectly. I was just did my fair share of research on YouTube, forums on Google, and trying to really learn how to expand my reach. I wanted diamond striking to be known because this is a spectator sport.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other striking coaches out there that are really good, and there's a lot of striking coaches out there that, just go ahead and say it, they're not that good.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at some of these guys making these videos, I'm like, well, that guy's never fought a day in his life. And that was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. So, he's got 300,000 followers. I'm like, and it just something went off in my mind. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just start doing this. And I started, what is the goal of this? You can get paid from it, which I am now. My Instagram is monetized, my Facebook is monetized. I get paid on the views, and all that stuff. Which it's very minuscule compared to what it could be. Because like I said, I started this thing when I was 600 followers.
Yeah.
I'm already almost at, I think, 15,000.
Wow.
So but that was, I only just started learning how to do it correctly 4 months ago.
Wow.
So I wasted, a lot of times, what's that? Almost 7 months of not doing it correctly, you know? So once I learned how to do it, it's just exploding. I post a video and you guys see it goes from either 700 likes to 13,000. I got some videos on there with 35,000 likes on there.
Wow.
So it's like, it's all about how you work it. And this could translate, into helping someone who was trying to be a content creator.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys want me to touch on that too. I can
go right into it. Yeah.
The TikTok and YouTube, I have not really figured that one out yet.
Yeah.
Every platform has a different algorithm. Just the Instagram algorithm is what I've cracked and what I've learned, that I've been doing what works for me.
Yeah.
So there's two common mistakes that people trend to make when they're trying to make a video, and this could, pointers for you guys with the podcast too.
Yeah.
Is not using a trending sound when they post a reel, and not using the right hashtags. So people, you believe it or not, when you post a picture, unless you have a crazy amount of following, unless you're like a chick who posts pictures in bikinis, which is insane because they can just get famous quick.
Yeah.
Us all small fries, we have to work for it. People don't want to see pictures. It's automatic scroll bait. You believe, especially on Facebook and Instagram, you don't really get that much support from the people It's and you're like, well, why aren't they liking it? I get more support from strangers than I do from people that I actually,
right.
Right. I'm sure we all can agree to that. But reels, posting Instagram reels is what Instagram is pushing because they're trying to keep up with TikTok.
Yeah.
They're trying to keep up with the YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
So they're really pushing the reels. So you got to use a trending song. You have to use the right hashtags, and you don't want to make your videos too long to where it's because the average person has a 4-second attention span anymore.
For sure. Yeah.
It's insane.
Thanks to social media.
Yeah. It's just the way the world is.
Yeah.
So what I've been
hashtags due to reels, they're pushing reels, trying to keep up with TikTok. What about hashtags?
15 to 22 hashtags in correlation of your video.
Right.
So if I post a video, you'll see on my hashtags, you'll say boxing training, boxing drills. But what I do recommend is for instance, the podcast. Go on Instagram, type in podcasts, and go on these other ones that have millions and millions of followers and look what they're hashtagging. Use the same hashtags.
Gotcha.
You just use the same ones, podcasts, comedy, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just in correlation to your video. You don't want to hashtag podcasts and then hashtag shopping. It's not gonna. It's too. It'll work against you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean.
Yeah. So what is your ultimate goal? Is it to just keep going to hundreds of thousands of millions of followers and just keep going? And what can you predict, if possible, is the trend going to be? Is it that continual with reels, or do you think they have something else in the hopper?
Just I'm not really a trend follower.
Yeah.
But in this case, you have to.
You have to be, right?
You absolutely have to be. My goal is, I'm just going to touch the moon with this.
Yeah.
Wherever it goes, it goes.
Yeah.
If I can collect another paycheck from this, then absolutely.
100%.
And on top of it, I make my videos translated to the beginner trying to learn how to box.
Yeah.
I try not to make them too complicated or something like that. Something that you can do like a drill with your partner.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. Keep it simple.
Very simple.
Yeah.
I could go on there and show someone how to throw a jab cross, and it's going to go bonkers.
Yeah.
So and I have a year's worth of videos, but there's different styles of everything. I can make millions of videos and just continue to smash it.
Yeah.
So
there's a very, very famous YouTuber. I'm not going to mention his name, but he does all these these fitness videos and nutrition videos. And this guy, I'm telling you, for the last 10 years, puts out 3 videos a week. It's astronomical. And how does someone continually come up with material? That's hard, because we've done it with the podcast. Same thing with me. It's I'm not an IT guy, and look what we're doing right now, right?
Yep.
It's to your point, you'll figure it out for your need or whatnot. But when it comes to content creation, I give people mad props for. We're coming up on 7 years of the podcast.
Yeah.
So coming up with that much content, we're 320 something plus episodes of 45 minutes plus each episode of content. That's some heavy stuff. And we couldn't have done that without having guests like yourself and Angelo. So how do you stay creative? How do you stay fresh? How does that content keep delivering?
Well, getting, I was posting every 2 days.
Yeah.
That's what I still try to do. Finding the content as far as like the techniques and all, that's easy. You know what I mean? Because I'm always evolving. I'm always looking at new stuff. What can I show my fighter today? You know what I mean? I'll be driving in my truck and I'm like, that was a sick combo. I'll immediately go to my notes. I'll put it in my notes and then I'll film it with whoever I'm working with that night.
Yeah.
But there is some times to where like my schedule offset. It's like, oh damn, it's my second day. It's like I'm coming up on my second day and I'm like, oh man, I'm not training anybody tonight or something like that. I'm like, oh damn, so I'm gonna miss that every 2 day regiment that I've had.
Yeah.
So it's a little rough. But I will say personally, after I hit like 10,000 followers, like I kind of just like eased up a little bit.
Yeah.
But now like my foot's back on the gas. So,
Yeah.
I mean it's insane.
How do you communicate to all levels when it comes to what you're doing? Because I think about like my sons, if I want to explain something to a 4-year-old, even a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old, I have to communicate it a little bit different. Is that how you basically sum it up for your coaching style? You just kind of get to their level, explain it so they understand, then you build on vocabulary, you build on technique?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It all depends on the person.
Yeah.
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 100%.
Yeah. So, Ange, what are you looking for in a coach when you're out there shopping? Because I know you and Goose, you're cutting the whole community up, and you guys run into somebody every single day that has an offering, whether it's boxing, MMA, whatever, or anything other. Like, let's talk about how many landscapers right? In all seriousness, it's competitive, is what I'm trying to say. What do you look for to weed out the competition or the offerings? I mean, what do you do to find? Obviously, you guys knew each other, but even outside of that, let's say you and Justin didn't know each other. Like, what are you actually looking for?
Looking for somebody, like he just said, that keeps evolving, that never wants to stop learning.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The day you stop learning is the day you fall flat on your face.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like he said, he's always evolving. He's always looking at different combinations, different things like that. I don't want somebody that's just content where they're at, like, I made it.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, honestly, I was thinking about this the other day, like, like I said, I'm my own worst critic. Like,
yeah.
And it's not about materialistic things, but when I wake up today, I get to wake up, hop in my dream car.
Yeah.
Literally. Go to my dream job.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I'm still not content.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I know it's not about materialistic things, but I want more.
Yeah.
Now it's time. Like, I just set a whole nother goal. Like, the stuff I used to think was corny. Like, I've written a whole goal list down.
Yeah, for
I'll
sure.
journal things I want, things I need to do, put the plan in place.
Yeah.
And that's the people I'm looking for that I want to train me. Like, I'm my weakest link in my network of friends right now. And that's where I want to be. The old me would have been like, I would have been hating on somebody because they're doing better.
Yeah.
No, I want to be the weakest link. When it comes to training, like, I don't want to go where somebody's not as good, that's worse than me.
Right,
I want somebody that can teach me.
Right,
You know what I mean? I want to keep leveling up, and with Justin, if he keeps leveling up, I'm going to keep leveling up.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking for. Somebody that's willing to keep learning no matter what they're doing in life.
I love it. I absolutely love it. All right. So we got into social media. We got into marketing. What are some of the things? You made a huge announcement today. You're going to basically have your offering pretty soon on a regular basis, Monday through Friday, at one of the biggest gyms in our area, or the biggest gym in our area. What is, outside of all that, and that's a lot, what is some of the things you are looking forward to in 2023 for Diamond Striking?
I just want to continue on the path that I was on in 2022.
Yeah.
Not that anything has changed. It's just like that we're in kind of that, downtime, waiting for fights to be scheduled. I have about 5 fighters getting ready to be booked.
Nice.
So we're looking at the Tropicana, we're looking at Parks Casino. There's a lot of stuff on the horizon. And again, just keep evolving, just keep getting better, just keep really just, making a name for myself.
Yeah.
People see the work. There's a lot of other striking coaches in the area. They see the work. And I try to remain as humble as possible, but in the field that I'm in, it is kind of like a dog-eat-dog world.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like, I just want to keep, just making it known that, I'm a heavy hitter in this.
Yeah.
So
I love it. No pun intended, or all pun intended?
Yeah.
Does it matter? I don't think so. All right, so we talked about this in the last episode, and Angelo, we talked about this in your episodes too, but I love to maybe something evolve, maybe something change. For someone who's listening out there, we all talk about it. Some of us have multiple jobs, kids, everything under the sun, right? Spouses, things to take care of, responsibilities. How do you, Ange, we'll start with you, and then Justin will go to you.
Yeah.
How do you manage the work-life experience? And this is a fantastic transition because if work is stressing you out, you get to go to, Justin and, work some things out and work on yourself. And you said you make lists. Is that how you do it? Is there anything else you do? You go for walks, you go for jogs. I mean, how do you balance everything?
Just working out like it's crazy. Like today's a perfect day to ask a question like that.
Yeah.
I laid in bed till 5:30 today.
Yeah.
Because I'm always running. Like
Yeah.
I wake up in the morning, I go to the gym, then I come to work. I got a few commitments I take care of outside of work. Like
Yeah.
I'm constantly running just to try to get better. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And if, like I said, it's my dream job. So some days I come to work, that's my meditation.
Yeah.
I get to make somebody feel good
Yeah.
about themselves when they leave here.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
not too many people get to do that every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just so happens I get paid for it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a beautiful thing. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean? But balance, I suffer with balance a lot. Like
Yeah.
balance is hard. I want to do one thing to the extreme, put this thing on the back burner,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. So I'm always struggling with balance. But
Yeah.
like today, I needed it. Like
Yeah.
I was burnt out.
I
You know what I
love
mean?
that.
Like continuous weeks, only 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night. Like I needed to lay down, rest my body. Now I'm balanced. Tomorrow I get back to it.
Yeah,
You know what I
for
mean?
sure.
And
Yeah.
that's just balance is hard, but I try to do what I can do to keep it going. You know what I mean?
I love it. Justin, what about you? Same question.
I just feel like my motor, like it never shuts off.
Yeah.
Sometimes things do pile up, and I get kind of just overwhelmed with certain things.
Yeah.
I need to learn. I just turned 33 in December, and like I'm still like kind of navigating my way, through all this.
Yeah.
Trying to learn balance and trying to learn. Okay, let's take care of the first thing that's in front of you.
Yeah.
All with being kind of impatient to achieve my goals.
Yeah.
It's like I want to be here, I want to be here, I want to be here. It's
Yeah.
like, let's just do it.
Yeah.
It's insane, and it kind of comes hand in hand because we put in these long training camps with my guys, and obviously the end result is getting my guys hand raised inside the cage. That's where you go, but it's like the next day when you're done, it's right back to the next camp.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
here we go on the rat
Yeah.
race again. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's a lot sometimes, but I need to learn to, really just take a deep breath and, just kind of put one foot in front of the other, not be so impatient with certain things.
Yeah.
So.
All right, before we get into our final question of the night, is there anything any topic we didn't touch that you wanted to mention, or any other, items that you wanted to talk about?
No, I mean, and again, the whole social media thing, there's so many things that we can touch on to help someone be
Yeah.
a content creator.
Yeah.
And again, just the tools, there's so much more into my editing the videos that go into my videos not being scroll bait. Like if you guys see on my videos, it'll say boxing drill.
Yeah.
Automatically your brain goes off I want to see what this is now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in your guys' case, it'd be podcasts. So if you guys were to post up a reel before mine came out, and we're taking videos right now, you guys post up a reel instead of just a picture.
Yeah.
Like a little 6-7 seconds of us just talking, laughing. Yeah. And then you'll have, you ever see those videos where it says wait for it?
Yeah.
You wait for it and nothing ever comes. Like what the hell? It's like
catchy.
It's like, well, what did I just wait for?
Yeah.
It's because it tricks you in just watching the entire video. Now the algorithm is going to, take that you watch the entire video and it's going to push it now.
Yeah.
There's, 6 out of 20 people are going to like that.
Yeah.
And the reach with the reels go much further than just if you post a picture. That only goes to your following, and that's it.
Yeah.
You post a reel with the correct hashtags, that's gonna go. It's gonna be pushed to quadruple of your following.
Yeah.
So it's just a bigger reach, just a But again, if anybody ever has questions with that, shoot me a DM, and I can for free. There's some people out there no, I'll charge you if you want to know, but yeah, it's insane. But
He's selling his ebook, guys. Hit him up.
Yeah. So
$19.99.
Yeah. So I can only tell people like what worked for me, and I'm still evolving with it too. But just from where I was 4 months ago to where I'm at now, to where I'm going to be at the end of 2023.
Yeah.
You know, just remember this conversation. I'm at almost 15,000 followers. I'll probably be over 100.
Yeah.
You know, with the way it's going by 2024.
Absolutely.
So.
I love it. All right, so if there's someone out there listening, just to switch gears really quick, and is interested in wanting to achieve their goal of being an MMA fighter or champ, what's some advice you have for them?
Just start. Get your foot in the door.
Yeah.
Go to the gym and start.
Yeah.
You know, you always get these guys who, you know, maybe have no aspirations to be a fighter, but, you know, in translation to, or, you know, someone just going to the gym, you always got that guy saying, I'll go on Monday. I'll start tomorrow.
Yeah.
You never do it.
Yeah.
You're never going to go on Monday. You're never going to do it. It's just, you know, getting your foot in the door, you know, go to your local MMA gym and just start.
Yeah.
You know, and if there's good coaches in that school, they'll take it from there.
Yeah.
You know.
I love it. All right, Ange, Instagram hashtag. Now my mind's stuck on hashtags. Instagram handle, and then Justin, your Instagram handle.
Instagram's at Blending the Rules.
That's with a Z, right?
With the Z, you got it.
And then Justin?
Mine's Diamond Striking _ So
perfect.
Yep.
All right, so there you have it. We like to wrap things up with quotes, and the first one is by Les Brown. Life is a fight for territory, and once you stop fighting for what you want, what you don't want will automatically take over. Second one by Conor McGregor. Face adversity head on in your training, and you will conquer it smoothly in your fight. Diamond Striking Part 2. In this episode, we have special guest Justin Burke. We cover topics that range from fight camps, coaching, marketing, mixed martial arts, and much more. We wrap the episode up with quotes from Les Brown and Conor McGregor. Awesome. Guys, thanks again for joining us. The Rotated Views podcast was produced for self-development purposes. Huge shout out to our sponsors. This episode is brought to you by the Blessed Lifestyle brand. That is BL3SSED.com. Also sponsored by The Motivation Files Unleashed. This motivational mixtape will be your fuel for success. Available on all platforms. Guys, don't forget to visit the website, JimmyleeVelez.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Rotated Views. If you have any inquiries or questions, email us at info@JimmyleeVelez.com. On behalf of myself and the rest of the crew, we wish you massive success. Stay blessed.